Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon. We couldn't have a better afternoon for it. Let me add my thanks first to the Kleins, Russell and Tara, and the family. They have a whole basketball team, the Kleins. I want you to know they can put out a whole team themselves. But thank you very much for having us here today. I'm afraid your lawn will never be the same, I want you to know, but I hope it's worth it. Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins, who's been a great partner and friend to me in Albany for many, many years, and she was a great help to get this agenda through this year, and I want to thank her. Let's give her a round of applause. Your county executive, my county executive, Westchester County Executive Rob Astorino, who understands the tax burden and understands that you have to make government work more efficiently and effectively, and he is. Let's give him a round of applause. It's good to be with him. Ken Jenkins, Chair of the Legislature, good to be with you. And the delegation, my colleagues from Albany, let's give them all a round of applause. This is a big day because this is a big deal. It's a big issue. You know, property taxes in New York State, I believe, are the most destructive tax in the state, wherever you go in the state. Westchester, it's one of the highest property taxes in the nation. Long Island, Nassau, one of the highest property taxes in the nation. But it's a problem all across the state. You go to upstate New York, by percentage of home value, the property taxes are even higher in upstate New York. And I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, you know, I have to move, I have to sell the house, I just can't afford to pay the property taxes anymore. The old question used to be when you went to buy a house, can you afford the mortgage payment? Now the question is, can you afford to pay the property taxes? And it's reducing the value of our homes. It's forcing people to leave the state, and it has to stop. And it's one of those problems that we've talked about for many, many, many years. In the 70s, they started talking about a property tax cap. Just cap the amount that the local governments can raise the property tax. That was in the 70s. In 1980, Massachusetts passed a tax cap, one of the first in the nation. In the 90s, they proposed it in the state of New York, but nothing happened. And today we're actually going to sign it into law. So it's literally decades of talk and discussion and analysis and debate is finally going to end, and we're going to sign the tax cap. And the tax cap is very simple. It says that the property taxes can't go up more than 2% a year or the rate of inflation, whichever is less, unless 60% of the people vote in favor of breaking the cap. Why 60%? Because we want the odds in the favor of the taxpayer this time. Because for many, many years, the odds have been against the taxpayer. And we have a cap, and if that locality really wants to pierce the cap, then it's going to take 60%. Well, what does it mean for local government? It means for local government that they're going to have to do what every family in the state did. They're going to have to figure out how to live within their means and how to balance their budget. And the answer can't be that every year that government spends more money and it goes to the taxpayer and says, you have to find more taxes. Property taxes have been going up 6, 7, 8% a year. And they're going up at those rates at a time when people can't afford those increases. Nothing is going up 6, 7, 8% in people's lives. Home values aren't going up that level. Savings accounts aren't growing that level. Income's not going up at that level. Where did government expect the homeowners to get the money to pay the increased taxes? And this is going to end the madness finally once and for all. New York's future and the future of this state is going to be brighter when we get taxes and regulations under control. We have been the high tax state for too long, and there is no future for this state as the tax capital of the nation. And today we're going to make that change. Now, you can say, as my daughter asked me, well, if they talked about it for this long, since the 70s, how did it finally get done this year? And the credit goes to my colleagues in Albany, Senator, the Assembly people who are here today, because this legislative session really was special. We started off in January, and we said that this year was going to be different, that we were actually going to make the government work, and we were going to make it work for the people. And we were going to put politics aside, that we are not Democrats and we're not Republicans, we're New Yorkers first, and we were going to act that way and put the partisan politics aside and do what's right for the people of the state. I believe today, standing here, 6 months later, we did. And we had an extraordinary legislative session. And we got more done in these past 6 months than had been done in years in Albany. And the credit goes to a great group of Assembly people and senators, some of whom are here today. Let's give them a round of applause. I really do believe with this session, with this law, this state is on a different trajectory. And we've turned the corner, and you're going to see a new New York coming back, a New York that is stronger than ever before. So when we look at our kids, who may be a great basketball team today, but one day will be homeowners and taxpayers and be raising a family, we want you to do it right here in New York. We don't want you moving anywhere else. We want to have affordable housing. We want you to have good jobs. We want you to have quality communities. We want you to have a good environment because we want you staying right here at home. And New York is home. Don't you guys ever forget that. Let's